Hi all, good evening. So my audio is audible. Can you please post a message in the chat box if that's clear for you guys? Yes, yes. Some messages. Yes. So yeah, hi, Said. Hi. Okay, Jones. Hi. Yes. So once again, yes, let's click first. So today, on today's session, we are going to plan to discuss about how to adapt from how to adapt in the option buying in the upcoming market changes or on the continuous phases. Okay, we have already seen so many phases in the market especially since the last September, right? So how to adapt during all these three market hours. So hi all, good evening. Sorry for the technical glitch. So now am I audible for you? Can you post some messages in the chat box? Sorry for the inconvenience. It was actually a technical glitch. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So good evening, guys. So let me introduce myself. Myself Hariprasad. Basically, I'm into the market for the past 7 to 8 years, looking into the topics of technical analysis, price action, and option buying. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Audible. Fine. Fine. So, yeah, just before getting into our topic, how many option buyers are here? Can I see some engagements in the chat box, please? So, how many option buyers are here? Guys, I need some engagements in the chat box. So, how many of you are there? It's an option buyer. Yes, buyer, myself, me. Okay, fine, fine. So, there are, Yeah, three of them are had already. Yeah, Pavan Kumar is okay. So many option buyers are here. So my next question is pretty simple. So how many of you are into option buying for more than 3 years? More than 3 years. Okay, Amit, but yeah. Okay, so more than 3 years. We have assessed the okay, fine. So as you already seen, that today's topic is to how to adapt in option buying. Okay, so the concept of adapting is not only for option buying. Okay, it's actually a general theory or a general skill that every trader or every participant in the market, that especially into trading. Okay, so not in kind of investing, or I'm not speaking about some kind of investing or swing trading, especially into trading. We just need to be an adaptive person, right? Okay, we need to be an adaptive person. Why? Because it's pretty simple, because market is actually dependent on n number of factors, and across these global cues or global events, news as wars, corona, or pandemics, whatever it is, the market is actually getting fluctuated day by day. Okay, so different market conditions also create what different behavior in market participants. Okay, so we should be always ready to adapt. So as a trader, you should adapt to that. Yeah. So okay, so I think I'm audible. So as a trader, you should always adapt and you should adjust to that market movement. So my next question is, so who will be able to adapt, or who will be able to understand the market criteria or the market conditions has had already changed? Okay, so can I get some answers? So who are the people, or who are the participant, or which kind of people in the market will be able to identify or understand that the market conditions had now been changed? Can I get some answers? Okay, it's pretty simple. Okay, it's pretty simple. The people who are spending time on the charts. Okay, so who are actually regular in the market will be able to understand that the market has now been changing. Okay, so only those who are actually adapting or spending the time will be able to adapt to the market changing or the market changes. And why these market changes are happening? Why the market changes are happening? So, like I told you before, the market is dependent on n number of factors. So in today's topic, okay, in today's session, we are mainly discussing on the Nifty and Bank Nifty. Okay, so not going to the other indices. Okay, only just the Nifty and Bank Nifty, and we are discussing on the recent market changes from the last 1 year. Okay, so with the live example. So because since 1 year we had seen so many dramas in the market, especially, and as an as option buyers, we are the people who had faced or we just faced the challenge, the real challenges and the real hurdles throughout the market, right? Especially since the last September. And so how many of you, so before getting into that, how many of you guys had actually, so, or did anyone felt the changes in the, or the market, did anyone felt the market changes, or is there someone who is actually struggling to adapt, or did you guys face some struggles to adapt to the market changes? Or if everyone is okay with that, so there is no point for the sessions today. So can I get some answers in the chat box? So how many of you had already faced some challenges during the market changing scenarios? Is that happened to you? Okay, so please guys, please engage in the chat box. Unpredictable, struggle to adapt, lot. Okay, lot on me. Okay, is a lot, is a lot. Yes, many. Okay, so the last year, if you watch the one year of the market from since last September, you'll be able to see there are so many events that have happened. Okay, starting from the U.S. presidential election, then the lot size changing from our yeah, expiry changes, liquidity issues, bank nifty options. Trump is making its news driven. Yeah, exactly. The Mr. Trump had taken care of all the news, and the market is also moving like his announcements, right? Trouble for the buy is due to increased margins, exactly, and the low IV. Yeah, good. So you guys are already watching that, and you guys know and how to face this, or you had already faced the market shift, right? So coming to this point of adapting. Okay, it's not easy for the people who are who are not regular in the market. Okay, so in order to identify the character change of the market, okay, character change not in the terms of the structural changes what I'm speaking about the real character changes. So like we know all the charts, okay, all the stocks, all the indices, or if you look onto any instrument, for every instruments the characters differs from one to one, right? So if you need to change, if you want to watch the seasonal changes in the market, especially into something like the bank nifty and nifty, you need to be so regular in the market. Okay, you don't need to be a regular trader, but you need to be a regular a watcher of the market in order to that's the first step where you can actually plan for your adapting skills, or that also depends on your regularity in the market. Okay, and someone who initiated and tested the same strategy throughout a range of time, that's the next the next very important point. Okay, someone who is actually sticking onto some kind of regular strategy against surveys. Okay, so what I means is like, so there are people who shift from say price action to smc to ict, and they will be each and every day they will be just like shifting the strategies from day to day. Okay, so this is especially for the beginners. Okay, if you are someone who had already taken the first step into the market, you need to stick on to the same strategy for a period of time. Okay, so if you are so irregular, again irregular with this kind of strategies each and every day, so if, each and every day or each and every week or every month, if you are shifting from one strategy to the another, again you will not be able to understand the changing character of the market. Got it? So if you're sticking, so how many of you are here already sticking on to some the same strategy at least for more than 1 year or near to 2 years, between 1 and 2 years? So how many of you are there? No, no one, no one. Okay, Pramod Shetty. Yeah, Pramod, you are there. Hi, Pramod. Yeah, me. Okay. And the next question is this the same strategy? Is that giving the same RR during all these years? That's my next question. Following the setup more than a year. Yes, Ganesh. Good, good, good. And okay, so it's very rare. Okay, so if you see the messages, you can see that number of people actually replying for this question. Okay, which means the people who are actually sticking on the same strategy for more than 1 year, it's very less to see. Yeah, that's one of the reason why people are not able to adapt to the market changes, because they are not able to understand that the market is now being changing. So if you're sticking on to the same strategy for at least for a smaller time period, or even or for a shorter time range, you will be able to see how, and you will be able to see the results just by seeing your RR. Okay, so almost the same kind of RR will be respecting, or you can actually clock to that same RR over a period of time. But once the market changes, you can immediately spot on to the changes in the market. Until the form of 2 3 months, so confusing and much. Not this form 2 or 3 months. Okay, so also tells us stock option. Yeah, the stock option I will get into some I on another session. We'll discuss on stock options. Okay, so today discussing on the nifty and the bank nifty. So especially from the last 1 year. Okay, so if I show you the charts, say of Nifty and Bank Nifty. So for me, okay, so I will initially tell you about my view on my view since last 1 year. Okay, so if you watch since 1 year, okay, so for me, the best years in option buying was 2022 and 23. Okay, at the till the end of 23, it was actually good, and it was actually very much structured market. Okay, all the kind of price action, the patterns, and everything was repetitively working on a high frequency. But looking from last September, okay, especially from last September, surprise candles is something which I was lot worried about. The surprise candles. Okay, surprise candles in the sense like, see, the direction or the view will be right. Okay, the direction or the view will be right, but again there will be some kind of surprise candles that will be taking out all our stop losses, and it will be moving up. Okay, so I'll just show you the Nifty chart. So this is the chart of Nifty on our 15-minute time frame. Okay, so I'm going to the end. Okay, so I had already marked some. So this is of the last December. Okay, so the last December again. So after the series of the presidential election dramas and everything, then came with the SEBI came with the rules regarding the law changes and everything. So here, if you see, we can clearly see this is what I told you regarding the surprise candles. Okay, the surprise candle. Even though the direction is clear onto the bearish side, see some of the surprise candles are actually forming in order to trap us. See the morning candles here. Again, looking on into this kind of, especially onto the morning session. Okay, into the market openings. Here you can see the market are taking out all the stop losses and dragging the market sideways. Okay, so that was something, or this kind of movement was something which we are seeing on a seasonal basis, because on the morning there will be a kind of what you call like some impulsive moves, okay, to both the direction, and at a glance the market will be getting cooled off. Okay, so most of the time the market was actually cooling off, and none of the strategies, just like the price action was not at all working. Okay, so promote, yeah, injection spikes by Jane Street, suppress candles Jane Street, yeah, promote Street, yeah, it's true. Okay, so happy to see that you guys were also noticing the same. So here on this range, okay, so the range which I marked here, you can see the kind of surprise candles that are actually forming to take out our stop losses. Okay, so right now, if you see the current market scenarios, it's more kind of structured one. Okay, and for our Discord members, you'll be able to see like the today's morning in our live analysis. We also seen like the price action that works on the Nifty, which had already went more than 100 points, the breakouts. Okay, so this was the kind of movement which we were seeing on the past market, and during that time, okay, so whenever this kind of uncertainties are happening to the market, especially for the option buyers, it's very struggle time. Okay, and we are only having again the 33% of winning rate. As everyone knows, it's a general rule. And if such, again, on top of that, if such kind of events, back to back events and uncertainties are coming, again we will be so much struggling. So what we can do, or what we can control, is something that or what we can take care of is only onto the risk management setup. Okay, or only onto the risk management. So regarding the adjusting the risk reward ratios, or positioning, or adjusting the risk reward ratio and position sizing. Okay, so that's the only thing that we can do in the market. Okay, that's the only thing that we can have a control, or the that we are having an upper hand. Okay, so keep an eye on the global events. Okay, so that's one of the thing which everyone needs to mandatorily look into. During our sessions, and by meeting many people, still many of them are not aware of the global events and the global cues that's happening in and around. Okay, so that's something. And so let me, these affected only on intraday, not position. No, 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 I'm mostly speaking on the intraday basis, because many people are into intraday. Yeah, true, these are affected only. Yeah, for the positional ones, again, if it is actually on the hedged position, that's okay. But again, for the naked buyers, we cannot do. Okay, so control what you can and manage what you cannot. Okay, so here we cannot actually control the market, we can only manage what we are going to do. So especially onto the Nifty and Nifty and the Bank Nifty intraday traders. So the general trend that we had seen is like the people had now shifted. Okay, so since September, since December, the traffic on into the Nifty options, because of the cancelling of the weekly option, weekly expiration, the Bank Nifty, we had seen that more traffic onto the Nifty options. So are you such a guy who already shifted to Nifty? Not now, so post December. So have you also shifted to Nifty than Bank Nifty during the early Jan 2025? Can I get some replies there? Which strategy is best for option buying and option selling? So I'm mostly into option buy. Yeah, Imran Khan. Okay, so you had already shifted out there. Okay, then what about others? which strategy is best for the option buying and option selling? So I'll be only speaking about the option buying because I'm actually a buyer. So for option buying, I'm using the price action, okay, especially the breakouts. So in order to adopt a new strategy and to adapt from the market changes, the first thing that you need to do is like you need to stick on to one single strategy. Okay, one single strategy. If you're using something, you use it consistently. That can only point you out the market changes, especially into options. The behaving changes. Bank Nifty was favorite, but more to Nifty. Yeah, that's the case with many people. Okay, Imran. Okay, so that's a, I made money from Sensex only. Okay, Sensex, that's too aggressive. Okay, good. We'll speak about the Sensex and Sensex on our next session. Okay, so today we'll exclusively do it with the Nifty and Bank Nifty. So one of the best way that you can do, or in order to understand that, or in order to adapt to the changing market situation, stick on to one single rule. Okay, Sensex has liquidity challenges only. Okay, so stick on to one single strategy. Stick on to one or two. Okay, don't try to switch from one strategy to the another, because a person, or someone who is actually sticking on to the same strategy or the same rule over a range of time can only see the market changes. Okay, so none of them are okay, the rest of them will not be able to see the market changes, or they will not understand that the market character has now been changed. So that's something which I faced, okay, personally, which I faced during uh, the early Jan, or since September is what, just like the the direction was right. Okay, so most of the times, more than 50% of the time, the direction was clear. But whenever we are planning for an entry, the RR will not be, or it will be compromised, the risk reward ratio, or some this kind of, say, if you see here. Okay, so this is a clear example where you can actually see the direction. We are actually having a bullish view on this 6th March, but this particular candle will be taking out all, and see the kind of candle that's forming over there. Okay, so it's a kind of very good, good body, just kind of, it's not a marboso, but with a small overshadow. It's a strong seller's candle that will be taking out all the, what you call, like, all the stop losses, and the direction is right. Okay, census has two wide bid spread, Nifty got for the different prices. Yeah, how do you think about the breakout? How do you think about breakout and trend line? Yeah, Manish, I'm coming to that. Okay, so this is what I felt. The direction is still clear, but not able to trade, because, so what I did was I just position size. Okay, so during this volatility day, so this is one of the tip that I'll be giving you. So whenever you are so the first rule that you need to stick on is that stick on to one single strategy, okay, throughout the period. And next, whenever you feel like the market is now changing the track, or the character has been changing, just switch on to, if you're someone who is into Bank Nifty especially. Okay, so now I'm comparing with Nifty and Bank Nifty. So come back to Nifty. Okay, so it will be a bit more safer than Bank Nifty. Come back to Nifty and adjust your position sizing. Okay, so just do your calculations on the position sizing. Just go with 50. Just cut down 50% of the lots that you are actually into. Okay, and the targets. The target is very much important. Go with minimum targets. Okay, go with minimum target. So during the last changing phases, I mean, since March and April, because since April it was actually a harder time, but now it's very good for option buyers because of the structural market conditions. So here, what you need to understand is, like, you just need to make sure that at least 1:1 will be enough for the intraday buyers, and the stop losses should be also bit tighter. Okay, so it, because what I personally understood is, like, whenever the market conditions are changing, and for the Bank Nifty and all. Okay, so even if you are going with the proper RR, most of you are still on the losing side because of this kind of surprise candles. So surprise candles can be expected at any point of time. So even 1:1 will be better, because booking the profit as early as possible will be so good enough, especially during this kind of market changes. Okay, and once the market got stabilized, understand, and again, look on to the time period. Okay, the time zones really matters. So like I told you before, most of the days, okay, most of the days, we will be able to see, okay, we were able to see the initial market momentum, okay, the initial market momentum, and after that the market was actually settling down. Okay, so this was the trend that happened during says January, February and March. Okay, initially there was a momentum, so continuously on 2-3 days we saw that. Okay, so on the morning we were having good momentum, and rest of the time it was actually cooling off. So a morning momentum, then a consolidation, a morning momentum, then consolidation, and again momentum, a kind of consolidation. Okay, so that's what we were actually watching over. So this was the trend, and maybe on the next phase, okay, maybe on the next phase this will not be happening. Okay, so it will be on a different scenario. So for the option buyers, the morning was the best. Okay, so and for the afternoon we won't be looking into any kind of buying setups, because we track that. Okay, so we personally in our sessions, in our offline sessions and all, we used to track down this, or we identified the pattern of the market, so we avoid the afternoon trades. Okay, and whenever we are having a kind of opportunity in the morning, we grab that and we just sit idle, because that's much better, and the rest of them can be taken care of by the sellers in the market. Got it? So here you can see, okay, and it was not happening on every day, but majority days we had seen that the market was actually moving upside, then it just consolidates. Coming to the current markets, okay, so this was the analysis that we had done in our morning trade, the simple price action. Okay, so just the simple price action. So right now you can see that we won't be able to see so many surprise candles in this time period. Okay, so here the clear price action of this trend line breakout along with the CPR. Okay, so if you see the CPR over here, the market breaks and take the support and it went upside, and the strike that we were looking into was 24,500. Okay, 24,500 call was the strike we were looking into, and the same kind of price action. Okay, the same kind of price action. So some network issues are there. The same price action had also worked here. Okay, so on our Discord we updated the same. Okay, so the same price action worked over there. So okay, so this was the trend line. So was the setup. Okay, and the premium around from 252 to it closes near to 392. Okay, so this is and for the current market, the buyers are not much facing. So what about you guys? So what's your take on the current market scenarios, especially on Nifty and Bank Nifty? Mithias, I just came to learn. I heard mentioning the stop loss taken off. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Yes, morning is the best time for option buyers, 9:15 to 11 a.m., which is time intraday 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Yes, I'll come to that. Okay, so what's your okay? So what's your current view, or how do you feel about, or what's your feeling about the current market scenarios? Please be in the chat box. Okay, can you guys please post some messages in the chat box? How do you feel about the current market conditions in option buying, especially into the, I mean about the structure in the market, Nifty and Bank Nifty? Okay, so not getting much comments. So coming back to okay, so Bank Nifty ROI is less as compared to Nifty. Yeah, Rajesh. Yeah, Bank Nifty is, yeah, for Bank Nifty scalpings are still the hope for buying momentum is looking by buying moment is looking view. I didn't get you, Imran. Buying moment. So yeah, again, most of the people are still sticking on to Nifty instead of Bank Nifty. So for Bank Nifty, people are still on to the scalping side most of the days. Okay, most of the days. Market is doing gap up on opening and retracement in terms of immediate upside and targets, and hit mark when uh, targets are hit, market comes down. Yeah, that's for Nifty only after two candles. Yeah, reversed. Exactly. But still, the price action really works on the Nifty. Okay, so it's still onto a stable side. That's my feeling. And if you look on to today market reverse, yeah, today market reverse and the proper price action. Okay, so after 2 to 3 days, we are getting a good confluence in the market. Okay, we are getting a super confluence in terms of a breakout, the pattern, the CPR, all the elements are actually literally all came together. Okay, all came together into one point, and it was actually a super day for our students also, for the community members too. And looking on to the bank nifty, okay, looking on to the bank nifty, here the price action was again pretty simple. We were actually watching on to this reversal. Okay, so just like a cup and handle kind of reversal. It's a pure price action. Again, after the breakout, it gives a retest. It made an upside move. And looking onto the CPR, yeah, on our morning analysis we already mentioned it will be a very much trending day because of the narrow CPR. Okay, so the price action really works good, and the sectors were also looking good, and the nifty again supports the movement. Okay, so that's the view for that was the view, and this is how easily we can actually adopt to the recent market conditions, which is actually super good for the buyers. So that's my take on that. And again, coming to the current strategies. Okay, so if you look on to the current market scenarios, okay, if you look on to the current market scenarios, what we will be able to identify is just like the swing. So I already mentioned it before in one of our last session, the previous swing highs. Okay, the last which means the yesterday's, okay, the last days swing highs and swing low can be easily marked. Okay, the last created swing highs and swing lows can be, okay, it can be considered for the next day's buying setups. Okay, so if you are getting a good price action on the last created swing highs and swing lows, for the next day you can really go for a trade. Okay, so the last created, so if you watch this last swing low, market breaks down and it acted as a support, it came down. Okay, okay, all the last created swing lows and the swing highs can be will, or it can be actually taken as a levels, okay, for the breakouts and or the retest. Okay, it can be a small zones. So that's what I am recently experimenting. So here you can see the last lows and swing highs, and you guys can also just watch it on in our upcoming days. Okay, it works really good on the nifty. Okay, so keep on polishing your strategies. Okay, keep on polishing your strategies. So all the strategies will not be working throughout the year. Okay, so if I so around 2022 and 23 was my favorite year, where all the patterns were really working good. Yeah, really working good. Are you teaching CPR along with price action in your course? Yeah. Okay, so CPR is also, okay, CPR is also included in our uh, session. Okay, I think market change its character as of now for upside. Yeah, once breakout, whenever I'm waiting for the retest, either moment is gone, either I'm buying on high. So how to deal with this kind of problem? So this kind of problem, so again, you can make use of this, our what to call like the premium charts or our the strike charts. Okay, so for today, at 9:30, okay, so at 9:30 the first breakout, or 9:35 the first breakout had happened. Okay, sorry, if you're looking on to the today's market, so if you see here, after 9:30, okay, the trend line had already broken at 9:25. But if you see the same price action here at 9:35, okay, at 9:35 only the that what you call like the premium price act, or the price action on the premium chart had given a breakout. Okay, so I used to watch the confluence on the premium chart, which means the strike chart, along with the price action. So and one more thing, yeah, this is a very good question you asked. Okay, so what I missed before was like keeping the targets and the stop loss. So whenever you are seeing like the market change, so let me ask you one thing. how many of you are actually or how many of you are actually placing the targets and stop loss on the spot chart? Okay, so if you're placing a target and stop loss on the spot chart, please comment as spot. And whereas if you are placing your targets and stop loss on the premium, please post a message as premium in the chat box. So let me know how many of you are actually placing your target and stop loss on the spot chart as well as on the premium price. So not me actually. So I want the people who are actually posting it on the spot chart. It's called the PCR, not CPR, put call ratio. No. That's I'm telling about the central pivot range. Amrit. Okay. So Mohish on the spot, Medha Sharma on the premium, and what about others? Okay, Pramod on the spot. Didn't get you. Okay, so Mitesh, it's pretty similar. Where you are actually keeping your targets and stop loss. Basically, are you keeping this targets and stop loss on the spot chart, which means on the index chart, or are you planning for some exits based on the premium prices, just like 10 points, 15 points, or something? Okay, spot as well as premium on the spot. Okay, fine. So yeah, it's a actually I got some mixed replies. Okay, so what I do is like I always keep on the premium price. Why? Because so if I'm looking on to the premium price, it will be a kind of static one. Okay, so on every market condition, I used to keep my targets and the stop loss just like on the premium chart. So nowadays on the Nifty, minimum of 15 to 20 points is easily, or it can be expected uh, on most of the breakouts. But coming to the market scenario during the last December, okay, so since the last December, January time, or from October, hardly 10 points was a kind of my targets where I used to spot 1:1, just 10 is 10 points and 10 points on the other side. And because of the uncertainties, okay, and keeping the targets on the spot chart didn't make any sense for it doesn't make any sense during that time, because even though our direction is clear, we are not able to achieve that before hitting our stop loss. Okay, so that's a camera pivot, not camera pivot range. Okay, it's a central pivot range. Okay, CPR, central pivot range. Okay, premium and the spot chart 15 points. Yeah, 15 to 20 points can be easily achieved on this kind of markets on Nifty. And looking on to the bank Nifty, easily 20 to 25 points. Because most of the days we are getting good kind of what to call like the breakouts, and uh, the indicators just like the CPR, the pivots are also, the overlapping ones are also working really good. Okay, so that's my catch. So how to adopt? Okay, so again, coming to the topic, how to adopt and how to adapt to the market changes. The first one is to be regular in the market. To be regular in the market, stick on to one single strategy at a time. Okay, stick on to one single strategy at a time, and again, adjusting with your RR. Adjusting with your RR. So once you feel like, so if you're a person who is actually regular in the market, keeping or if you are steady with one single strategy throughout the time period, you can just adjust it on your RR. Okay, and during the high volatile time, it's highly prefer you to move to Nifty than Bank Nifty. Okay, because it's a bit more safer. And again, this kind of market changes, okay, this might kind of high volatile days are actually coming because of some global cues or some major news that's hitting our economy as well. So during that time, you can also shift to the equity trading, okay, especially on the intraday. So again, definitely the major events will be hitting onto some of the major sectors in our uh, what to call like in our market, right? The major sectors. So you can also go for some. So if the panic situations are getting higher and higher, you can go for some short selling trades on the equities. Okay, it's highly preferable. Okay, it's highly preferable. Okay, it's highly preferable you to just move to or deploy some fund and be peaceful, so that you don't be having a regret that you are not participating in this market. Okay, so it's very much preferable you to shift your focus to equities as well. Okay, it's not only the hardcore option buying, but diversifying is also a wise idea. Okay, so Nifty chart, you were marking days swing high and low, not the day swing high and low, just on the 5-minute time frame, the last created swing high and swing low. Okay, the last created swing high and swing low. What's your view on the SEBI stopping weekly expiry or the Nifty expiry? So there is no point in telling, ready to be adapted. Okay, ready to adapt to the changes. And that's it. Okay, again, it will be a kind of struggle phase for everyone, but will be used with that. Okay, so you can so if you have any more queries, you can just post it in the chat box as well. Okay, so yeah, so, getting some. Okay, so during the high volatility days, I always prefer it. Okay, so those who are actually putting the targets on the spot chart, try this. Okay, so make your targets a smaller one. Okay, a smaller one, just like the 50% of what you are normally expecting, and keep it on the premium, so that you will be able to safeguard your profits even before the unexpected reversals that are actually happening. Okay, and stick on with one single strategy. Okay, and be regular in the market. So this is something you can actually use to make use of this adapting skill throughout the market volatility. I want to know where exactly your company located in Bangalore. Okay, so it's in Electronic City phase 2. Okay, it's the uh, our office is located in Ajmera Nucleus. Okay, Ajmera Nucleus, Electronic City phase 2, near to Tech Mahindra. Yes, that's where our office is. Okay, and count again, coming to the position sizing. Okay, so position sizing, you need to cut off to at least to 50 to 30% down, and avoid overnight holdings. Okay, so our it's a kind of heroism for many people to hold the overnight naked positions, especially during high volatility days. Okay, so just avoid that. The slippages will be again for the market orders. Adapting to the new market scenarios, always go with some limit order or some stop loss orders. Don't go with, especially in option buying, don't go with this thing, our market orders during the extreme volatile phase. I mean, extreme volatility time during the initial phase of the market, during the open market. And as a, I used to say to everyone, just like, don't go with the far out teams. I always prefer with in the money strikes. Okay, in the money strikes, and the shorter targets or some realistic targets. Okay, so these are some of my tips for you to adapt during the market changes. Okay, so be regular in the market is the first thing that will give you the signal or the indication about how to adapt in the market changes. Okay, so that's it, guys. Today was RBI day, how to adopt. Today was RBI policy day, how to adopt or plan B. Okay, so I'll be discussing the same or in our upcoming session as well. Okay, so for the time being, the market is pretty decently working, and it's still respecting all the levels. I still haven't figured out how out the theta and the gamma and how it plays on the vital loan in selecting the strike, which strike to option buying. Okay, so I still haven't figured out the theta. Okay, so it's pretty simple. For the in the money strike, it will be having more extrinsic value. Okay, so it will be having less theta decay, whereas in the money will be having more intrinsic value, whereas the out of money will be having more extrinsic value as well. So selecting which strike. Okay, so for the option buying, naked option buying, it will be very much good to always go with the intermoney strikes. Okay, so in order to avoid the what to call as like theta decay. Okay, so that's it. So we'll be seeing on the next our upcoming sessions with different topics. So for adapting to the market, be regular is the first step that everyone need to look into. Okay, so be regular in the market, stick on with the same strategy, and whenever you are analyzing the chart and the time period. Okay, so during the extreme volatility time, don't trade on or don't trade in between 9:15 to 9:30. Okay, so once you figure out the market is now being changed. Okay, so again, don't try to trade during the extreme volatility time period. Okay, so that's it, guys, and we'll be seeing you on